the heart and soul behind every business. Stories. Welcome to Business Story of the Week, hosted by me, Joshua Laurie. From setbacks to comebacks, from tragedies to triumphs, we inspire entrepreneurs through conversations that matter. Witness the magic that turns dreams into reality. Whether it's your career, business, or life, your success is always one story away. This is Business Story of the Week. And welcome back, folks. Welcome back to Business Story of the Week. I am your host, Joshua. And today, the question is, what is the secret ingredient behind crafting the most persuasive sell? What is wrong? And welcome back, folks. Welcome back to Business Story of the Week. I am your host, Joshua. And today, the question we're going to answer is, what is the secret ingredient behind crafting a very persuasive sales presentation or a very persuasive sales pitch? Well, this is what Carrie Chesick does and more. Our guest for today is the founder and CEO of Profitology.com, an executive coach who specializes in sales. He's also an executive coach that specializes in marketing and execution. He has led over 100,000. Nope, that's not 100,000. What is wrong with my recording? Holy sh! And welcome back, folks. Welcome back to Business Story of the Week. I am your host, Joshua. And today, the question we're going to answer is, what is the secret ingredient behind a persuasive sales pitch? Well, that is what exactly our guest does today. But more than that, he actually does a bit more when it comes to systems and when it comes to putting together all your pillars in an organization. Carrie Chesick is the founder and CEO of Profitology.com. He is an executive coach that specializes in sales, marketing, and execution. Emphasis on execution. He has led over 10,000 coaching sessions, earning accolades such as the Ernst& Young's Midwest Entrepreneur of the Year and recognition from the American Business Award. Carrie's leadership at Restaurant.com saw exponential growth, earning him a Gold Steve Award for a viral marketing campaign. With a background in psychology and law, Carrie combines expertise in emotional intelligence and business acumen to drive growth and success for organizations and executives around the world. And today, he shares those insights with us and his wisdom. Carrie, thank you for coming on here. How are you doing? Carrie, I always like to start off these questions or start off the show with a question of what is the story behind Carrie Chesick? Your journey from leading restaurant.com to founding profitology.com today is very impressive. But more than that, can you share to us any pivotal moments in your life, probably in childhood, during your education, now probably college days, that shaped your approach to executive coaching, that shaped your approach to entrepreneurship? Did you always know that you were going to get into this field? What is the story of Carrie Chesick?
Well, uh, I can tell you that, like most stories, it's almost like an EKG. The path to growth is very rarely up and to the right. It's mostly up and down, up and down, up and down, and up and down. And so it's it's capitalizing on the opportunities on your way up. It's learning learning from the mistakes on your way down, so that you can kind of rebound back up. Uh, but I can share. I studied psychology because I was interested in it. I loved it. I was fascinated with, like thinking about what people think. But I graduated, and I felt I was entirely unqualified to have any job. So I went to law school thinking that would give me a secure profession. So it wasn't I had this tremendous desire to, change the world with law. It was just I thought I could get a job. And so so I went to law school, and I became a trial lawyer. And so uh, it was really my first education about sales. I didn't know this at the time, but had this amazing experience, amazing looking back now, where we had a trial. It took 5 years to get there. Uh, we thought we were going to win the whole time. We took 6 weeks to get through the trial. We still thought we were going to win. We gave our closing argument. We thought we were for sure going to win. And we, opposing counsel stands up within about 20 minutes of giving the start of his closing argument. I kind of slumped back in my chair and realized, wow, we just lost. That person was way more compelling, way more convincing, way more captivating. And I even believed his side. And what was so interesting, again, I didn't know I'd be an entrepreneur, and I didn't know I'd ever use that life lesson again. But what's so interesting is that in business, we all have companies that have competition, and we all have product differentiation or company differentiation, whether it's product or a service. We have differences in what we sell, how we sell it, our pricing, our service. But in that courtroom, we both had the exact same set of facts, literally the exact same set of facts. And so imagine somehow, magically, if your competitors had the exact same product and service at the exact same price with the exact same people, it'd be, not really possible. But uh, but what was interesting, and that's the first lesson in persuasion, with the exact same set of facts, opposing counsel took them and spun them in a different way, moving the words around in such a way that it was simply more persuasive. Now, fast forward to restaurant.com, my first entrepreneurial journey. And here's how the company started. We uh, we had an idea, like most companies. We had an idea. We thought we could solve a problem. We started a company, raised money, hired a bunch of engineers, built a product, went to market. Nobody would buy it. So what
Of
do?
course.
We raised more money, built a completely different product, went to market, found out it wasn't scalable. So third time around, we don't have any money to build a different product. The
Hmm.
only thing we could do, we couldn't change the product. The only thing we could do is change the pitch.
Hmm. Hmm.
So shockingly, by
Shockingly.
shockingly, third time around, we by changing the pitch, we were able to scale the company up to 18,000 clients.
There you
And
go.
so
And
I'll
this is
just
with
give you an idea.
restaurant.com.
This
Hmm.
restaurant account, I'll give you an idea. Our original premise was all about selling websites to restaurants. We
Right.
thought they need
Hmm.
websites. They must have websites. It was ingrained in our brains that it was the most important thing in the world. And guess what?
Hmm.
They couldn't figure out at the time, this is way back when, how do I get a customer? If I pay you X, how do I make Y? Because a click, I don't even know what that is back then.
Hmm.
And uh, so I'm gonna skip. This took us 5 years of pain to figure this out. But
Oh my.
5 years later, uh, we went from selling websites to filling
Hmm.
empty tables. It
There
was
you
right
go.
underneath
Wow.
our nose. It was so simple, but it
Hmm.
worked. And so
Wow.
that's when I now we scaled that up. I had all about 425 employees, 18,000 clients,
Hmm.
as I mentioned. And to make that happen, we had about all in about 250 people were tied to our sales organization, about 30 full-time digital marketers,
Hmm.
full tech team, full data and analytics team. And remember, I was a lawyer. So I was I there were technical experts, SEO, for example, and PPC, Google Ads, and technical
Hmm.
experts on our sales team and our engineering team and data analytics team. And so I
Uh-huh.
was never going to have more technical knowledge than our technical experts. And so I always thought of
Of
myself
course.
as the coach. I'm the CEO, but I'm the
Right.
coach, meaning I'll get out of your way where you're great. I'm never going to add
Hmm.
value on the technical aspects of SEO or on,
Hmm. Hmm.
a CRM system. My
Hmm.
team was able to have the technical expertise. So I'm going to get out of your way where you're great, and I'm going to try to, help lift you up and support you where you need help. And that's when I first kind of got the coaching mentality and really thought of myself as the coach and the
Right.
CEO. And so, kind of, I was taught through mentors that's servant leadership. That's a servant leadership mentality. And so, fast forward, uh, the second business is my coaching business, where I've overseen, as you mentioned,
Hmm.
over
Hmm.
10,000, done and overseen over 10,000 one-on-one sessions with a tremendous amount of data
Hmm.
and information about what
Hmm.
makes employees tick and what happens in sales teams and marketing teams. And I've kind of
Hmm.
condensed them uh, into what I teach, which is really three distinct pillars that helps companies
Hmm.
grow.
Hmm.
So I'm going
Hmm.
to pause there, see if
Yeah,
you have
we're
any
gonna get
questions
into
for me.
that eventually, for sure.
Okay.
So, Carrie, you grew restaurant.com from 0 to 18,000 participating clients and 5 million consumers. You also were, again, your Gold Steve Award winning campaign was about a Feed It Forward program. It was highly successful. Before we really get into some of your coaching experiences, how could you share to us why that was so successful? Real quick, why was that viral marketing campaign resonated with audience so much and grow significant impact?
So we're approaching Thanksgiving in
Hmm.
2008,
Wow. Okay.
and of course the holidays. And the economy crashed in right then. The economy crashed,
Wow. Wow.
and a whole ton of people lost their jobs.
Oh
Uh,
no. Of course.
yeah, yeah. This is the crash of
Right around
2008.
Thanksgiving.
The banks and
Right around
all that.
Thanksgiving. Oh my.
And so now we're a gift certificate business. This is a very important time of
Hmm.
year, from
Hmm. Hmm.
Thanksgiving through the end of the year. It's gift giving season. And what we just realized
Yes, of course.
is that a whole boatload of people got laid off, and therefore everyone's holiday list was just about to get a lot shorter, like cut in half.
You're right.
And
Uh-huh.
so who gets left off the list? Person that delivers the mail. All the extra people, the people that people give gifts to. Obviously, maybe your your immediate family may still get a gift, but the long tail of the people you normally give gifts to is going to be left off. So while everyone was letting people go and
Hmm.
you know uh, uh, um, cutting back and cutting back and cutting back and cutting back, uh,
Hmm.
we decided to cut against the grain and give away free gift certificates. The only thing that we required was that you couldn't give them to yourself. You had to feed it forward by giving
Oh,
the
there
gift
you
certificates
go.
to somebody else. It was a pay it forward strategy, and it was designed to help
It's
lengthen
wow.
the gift, bring the gift list back
Yes.
And so
Mm-hmm.
we gave everyone the opportunity to
Mm-hmm.
celebrate the gift of giving by
Wow.
giving them free gift certificates to give to other people.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
It was really
No
cool.
wonder it
It
would
was
rest.
cool.
Wow, that's really cool. No wonder it really resonated, right? And also speaks about a lot of your, like you said, you mentioned you learned servant leadership during that tenure of yours, and it speaks a lot about these philanthropic efforts as well throughout your journey as as an executive coach, as a as leader in this industry. Carrie, you've overseen thousands and thousands of coaching sessions now today. Again, with your data and with experience in mind, talk to us about these common challenges. So we're getting into it now. These common challenges and misconception that you've often encountered when helping executives. You're trying to improve their sales. You're trying to improve their marketing strategies. What do you take from your experiences back then that you mostly apply now to overcome these challenges for most of the executives that you coach?
Yeah, great question. So the first thing I do is there's a reason I shared my experience as a trial lawyer and the experiences of the
Please.
early years
Mm-hmm.
of restaurant.com, where we didn't have
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
the right product, uh, and it
Yes.
was the pitch that solved it. So there are three pillars that I teach. The first pillar is called pitch before product, and
Yes, of
what
course.
that means is regardless of the stage of the business you're running, whether it's a
Mm-hmm.
startup, whether it's a mature business, the first exercise we do is write out the sales script, write out the
Okay.
objections, write out the
Mm-hmm.
frequently asked questions, and let's
Mm-hmm.
see what your current state is. What do you currently say? And
Okay.
uh, let's create a project and give it an
Mm-hmm.
owner. And the owner
Mm-hmm.
is the owner of the words in the sales script, the images
There you
in the
go.
presentation. Uh,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
what Who owns the number one response to the number one objection? Meaning, think about it.
There you
The
go.
number one
Mm-hmm.
objection is the number one reason you don't close business today. How much time are you spending on that? Making it more persuasive. So, what
Of
pitch before
course. Of
product
course.
is, we're going to create a project, we're going to give it an owner, and we're
Mm-hmm.
going to work on it and make that sales presentation, the FAQ responses, the responses to the objections,
Mm-hmm.
more persuasive, more
Yes.
compelling, more convincing. And oh, by the way, we start at the end,
Mm-hmm.
the sales pitch. What is a sales pitch that will get the buyer to buy today? And let's work backwards and hope what you just said has something to do with what you do.
Right. Okay. Okay.
because
Wow.
because
Interesting.
normally it's the other way around. I have an idea. I want to
Yes.
start a company. We're going to build a product or service. Then you go to market. I'm going to try to pitch it. Start
And then,
from the end.
uh,
What is the
wow.
sales pitch I
Interesting.
have to deliver today to win business? And then work
Mm-hmm.
backwards. And if you start at the end, what happens? You start
Mm-hmm.
immediately engaging in conversations. And what you're doing is you're talking to potential prospects, customers. They're
Interesting.
telling you what they like and they don't like, and what you're doing is you're
Mm-hmm.
inviting the potential customer into the brainstorm session about what you should sell and how you should sell it.
What a concept.
what
What a concept.
why do we have to we sit in a room, we all brainstorm what we should sell and how we should sell it,
Exactly.
and then just go invite the customer into the conversation, ask them what they
Exactly.
want, and they'll tell you.
Interesting. What a concept. Like you're taking this whole kind of like a mind tank, like a think tank, so to speak, but you're already including the customers or the people who are already going to buy that product of yours. And you bring them in instead of you sticking yourself in this room, kind of like ruminating and like, oh, what's my business or what's my product going to be like? Fascinating, right? Stop, go, just pitch it, try to sell it, and then figure out along the way. Fascinating concept. Everyone needs to learn that. What's the next step, Carrie?
The next step is what I call stack ranking revenue.
Okay.
So in its simplest form, this means doing the things that will generate the most revenue and the most profit
Uh-huh.
first before working on other things. Now, that kind of sounds like common sense. Shouldn't we work on the things that are going to generate the most revenue in the shortest period of time first
Of
before we
course.
work on other
Mm-hmm.
things? Right. But
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
here's what I see across many companies and a lot of data. There are two things
Okay.
that happen. Number one,
Okay.
really busy executives, entrepreneurs, sales leaders. I'm so busy. First thing I do is I have to bury out of my inbox so that I can get to work. As if, like, wait, you mean so the inbox isn't work? Then why are you working on it? And then I see two. This is a human behavior thing. I see two things. Number one, most people um, like certain things, and the things they like at, they're good at, and the things that they're good at,
Okay.
they like, and therefore they tend to do those first because they're easier for them. And the things that they're not as good at, that they don't like, or they don't like them because they're not as good at it, and they tend to procrastinate them. But
Yes.
those things don't necessarily have any relationship to revenue. Wouldn't
Of
it be
course.
great
Yes.
if you could say, "Hey team, why don't we all put in a process, a methodology for all of our goals and tasks to be
Mm-hmm.
ranked by revenue, to be put in
Mm-hmm.
smart format, making them time bound, specific and measurable. So Joshua
Yes.
will do this task by this date because it's a high revenue task, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So imagine if your whole team wrote and talked and thought through the lens of what are the things that will generate the most money in the shortest period of time, and then actually got to
Mm-hmm.
work and collaborated on them. And so I use project management software. I
Mm-hmm.
have the teams create, work with them to create their goals and tasks, put them all in smart format. We stack rank them. And you see high revenue tasks, medium revenue, and low revenue, and it becomes self evident. Why
Wow.
would we work on a low revenue task when we have a high revenue task in front of us? And I call this the meeting eraser. So I used to
Meeting
have all kinds of
eraser.
people that, yeah, it erases meetings off your calendar and frees you up to work on important things. I used to have
Wow.
people, uh, a lot of people come to me, Carrie, we have this amazing, amazing, amazing opportunity. Carrie, we have this horrible, horrible problem. And when we're able to, as a team, all start thinking in the format of time bound, specific, and measurable,
Mm-hmm.
uh, guess what stopped happening? Nobody came running into my office. Carrie, we've got this massive, massive low revenue problem.
Of course. That- of
Nobody
course,
would
that
do
never
that.
happened again. Exactly. Though
It's
it's done. We're done.
obvious.
We're like everyone's now thinking at the concept of like what can we make the highest amount of impact right now, and all that other stuff. It's done. It's like it's
And
it's of course that mindset is very very. Talk to us a little bit more about that.
yeah, so it's not like these things don't come up.
Uh huh.
And what I have heard said, and I like the saying in this context is, let small fires burn. Focus on the big stuff.
Yes, that's yes, of course. Focus on the big
And
stuff.
and
Exactly.
and the other thing, when you take a whole team and you have all kinds of things that people have to work on every day, and if they
Hmm.
decide independently without a structure that they're going to work on low revenue things, they're taking control of the payroll.
Oh, of course.
Like,
Of course.
why are all the employees allowed to take control of the payroll by doing whatever they want in whatever order they want? Not because they have bad intent, just because there's not a framework for
Of course.
everyone agreeing these are the high revenue things. The reason the systems don't are not implemented, these are the systems I implement, but the
Hmm.
reason they're not most often implemented is people don't talk this way. They don't think this way. That, we all have a
Of
meeting
course.
about a project we're going to work on,
Hmm.
and everyone says, "Oh, I'll do that," and somebody else says, "I'll take
Hmm.
that one. I'll take this one." But nobody says, I'm going to do this task because it's a medium revenue task. I'm going to take this test
Mm-hmm.
because it's a high revenue test. We don't say the last part of it. And so by teaching people
Of
to
course.
write it out, it helps give
Mm-hmm.
visibility to it, and it helps them plan their day. It actually helps people.
Of
People
course.
want to do a good job. They want to work on the things that will
Mm-hmm.
have the biggest impact. Usually it just isn't written out that way.
Fascinating, fascinating concept, and it's so important to have the visibility of that. I love that you said meeting eraser. Let's stop with all that. Like let's just take it all out and then do the most impactful action, the most impactful task right now. But like you said, we're not trained to think that way, so it's just a matter of putting it all down together, having everyone think the same way, and then knowing that okay, these tasks, these emails, I don't really kind of need to do them right now. I need to just get into what the biggest one, the biggest impactful task right now. Fascinating concept, Carrie. I think that's the first time I've ever heard of that, and it's like it makes sense. It really does make sense. No wonder you're coaching a lot of executives today. What is the third step, Carrie?
The third step is what I call the sales and marketing pendulum.
Mm-hmm.
It's where you take sales data. So your salespeople are out selling all day. They're talking to
Mm-hmm.
prospects. The prospects are saying words back to them. They're saying words
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
resonate. They're saying, wow, that's amazing. Or they're saying, wow, that's not very amazing. So the things that they say, that those words are data. And those
Mm-hmm.
words
Mm-hmm.
that resonate most deeply and also really have no connection whatsoever, the things that do not land well with the
Yes.
prospects, the responses
Yes.
that they give are vital points of data. And so uh, I implement a process. Now, sales and marketing are different departments, and they often have
Yep.
different leaders and they often behave differently. Uh, but the company has a common goal: growth,
Mm-hmm.
revenue.
Mm-hmm.
And so we take the words from the prospect, we share that
Mm-hmm.
data with marketing so that they can take the words that resonate most deeply with the prospect and turn them into top of funnel marketing campaigns. So you
Mm-hmm.
you've heard the phrase, now you're talking my language, right? You've heard people say that, like,
Yep.
oh, now you're
Yep.
talking my
Yep.
language. So we by doing this process, we're not figuratively talking their language. We are literally talking their language because we're taking
There
their
you go.
language and we're
Mm-hmm.
running
Mm-hmm.
ad campaigns with their words. So we
Mm-hmm.
know they're going to
Mm-hmm.
resonate because it's literally their words.
Fascinating.
So then we
Wow.
also, the pendulum, that's one way you swing data from sales to marketing. And then
Okay.
now you're also, usually some companies have teams where they're running SEO and PPC and social media ads,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
there are words in those
Mm-hmm.
ads. And
Yes,
some
of
of those
course.
ads drive leads. And so people fill out a
Okay.
form and then it's often sent to sales. And most cases I see sales will send the same exact email. Thank you for, your interest in talking to me. Can we set up a Zoom meeting or something like that? And
All right.
then
Okay.
they get on a
Mm-hmm.
call and they give the exact same presentation that they give to everyone over and over and over again.
Uh-huh.
And
Uh-huh.
so
Uh-huh.
the reason I start with the pitch before product is our goal in pitch before product is to build an agile sales presentation, knowing
Right. There you go.
knowing that
Mm-hmm.
the best sales presentation is the one we haven't invented yet until we're closing 100% of our deals. So once we have an
Yes, of
agile,
course.
right? Once we have an agile sales presentation, now think a lead comes in, they
Mm-hmm.
maybe it came in from SEO, so these three words, they clicked, they
Okay.
came in, they filled out a form. Wouldn't it be great to acknowledge something about the three words that brought them in? And maybe instead of the same sales deck that's presented to everyone, maybe on slide number 2, that slide contains those three words that drove them in. And what you're going here is for the you want the prospect to think, wow, these people really get me.
Wow, of course. Of course. And that it's really a two arm thing, like sales and marketing. But really, it all comes down to words. Like words are data, and people, the salespeople, they talk in the same language. Marketing uses the same amount of language, and then you just kind of like churn out this kind of sales process, record everything, put everything together, and you just do the same kind of sales pitch. I love that concept, but I really want to get into a little bit more about the specifics of it. How do you record all this? Basically, you mentioned about SEO, you mentioned about ads, then you probably do some ad copywriting, and then some sales script into that. What is a
Well,
more specific process that you involve yourself?
yeah, sure. So a lot of people are doing meetings on Zoom or Google Meet or Microsoft
Hmm.
Teams, and there are
Hmm.
many different ways to record the meetings.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
so there, I've been using some AI platforms for 4 or 5 years now. They're just plugins, and they record the meetings
Hmm.
with the consent of the other party, and they
Hmm.
record and transcribe the entire meeting. And so you have
Yes,
the
yes.
data, you have literally the exact words that were used by the prospect. And then
Hmm. Hmm.
on the marketing side, the marketing team has the data. They know, you as a marketing team have the data. You know what words and ads were clicked that drive a lead.
Yes.
You can track
Hmm.
that. And so
Of
you
course.
know the words that resonate with the prospect. You have it recorded and documented and transcribed. You know the words that were
Fascinating.
clicked in your ads. You created the ads. You know which ad drove the lead. You know the words and images.
Fascinating.
And so
Of
everyone,
course.
you hear a lot about product market fit, right? You've
Hmm.
heard that
Hmm.
phrase, product market fit,
Hmm.
meaning
Hmm. Product
meaning
market
does
fit.
our
Hmm.
does our product or service fulfill a need in the market?
Hmm.
What I
Hmm.
focus on is what I call content market fit. Do the
Wow.
words and images, the words that you say and the images that you show,
Hmm.
are they a fit with the buyer?
Of course.
And
For the
then
buyer.
a process to find out what the buyer wants and make sure your words resonate with them. Make sure the images that you show
Fantastic.
them resonate with them.
Hmm.
That's that's content market fit.
Content market fit. Fascinating concept. You're just like kind of twisting all these terms, not really twisting them, but you're flipping them into a more kind of a, you're really, to me, it feels like you're innovating these sales and marketing strategies from everything that you've learned, and just um, turning them into a more, how do you say this, a more sensible, so to speak. Like you're making it easier for everyone to kind of consume, and you're, putting it into a system. I love that. You call this your three pillars of growth, Carrie, and I understand that this is your newest book that just came out. It just came out, and it's now the new book, just achieved bestseller status on Amazon. Show us and let us know.
Pitch before product. Yeah, it's a very short book. It's a 52-minute read. You can read it at lunch, implement
Hmm.
some strategies that afternoon at work. Uh,
Hmm.
and it talks about the three pillars that I just mentioned. Uh,
Hmm.
and and by the way, nobody. When I talk about the three pillars, let me. You just said, it's flipping it on its head, and it is in a way flipping
Yes.
it on its head. But nobody. I don't get any pushback when I say in common language. Do you
Hmm.
agree uh, that it would be good to try to improve the persuasiveness of the sales presentation so you can close deals faster? Well, sure. Do
Of
you
course.
agree? Do you agree that you
Hmm.
should have the team working on things that will generate more revenue faster before working on other things? Well, of course. Do you think sales and marketing departments should share data with one another or keep it to themselves? No, of course they should share. So these are very common sense things. They're just
Hmm.
most companies do not have processes that they have implemented to make them
Yes. Yes.
routine
Yes.
as part of
Hmm.
the kind of the DNA of the company.
Of course. Fascinating. It's just no one knows how to put it all together into a system. No one is taught to kind of like, like just just systemize it, so to speak, right? Everyone knows that these are common sense, but how do we then apply it? And this is what you teach.
Yeah, and here's why these are gaps. The reason these are
Okay.
gaps is there isn't a job title that says I own the words and images in the sales presentation in the order of them. My job is to continually move the order of the words around to make it more
Mm-hmm.
persuasive.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some would say the head of sales, that's their job, but the head of sales is running a team and managing the CRM and making sure they're reaching out to the number of prospects they're supposed to be doing, make sure the database is healthy, and tons of other things
Mm-hmm.
are going on, having
Mm-hmm.
meetings and one-on-ones and so on and so forth. And so nobody really owns that project of moving the words around and A/B testing the words to find out
Mm-hmm.
what is the most persuasive order of words. And when it comes to data sharing, there are different departments,
Mm-hmm.
sales and marketing. Nobody really owns the sharing. Nobody on the sales team says, I own sharing of the data, the words that come out of the
Yeah.
prospect's mouth with marketing. And marketing,
Mm-hmm.
I own, they typically say, my job is to market the company and drive leads, but they don't own
Yeah.
sharing of the data, the words that resonated.
Of course.
And then the third thing, not one person owns the job, nor is there a title for I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to make sure each person every single day is working on the right person is working on the right thing in the right order.
Yes.
And so they're tiny little gaps. And yeah, I come in and fill the gaps. And that's why in a lot of companies these projects aren't active.
Wow. Okay. Carrie, to me, these are concept that has, like you said, these are common concept, but I've never heard it spoken in such, systematized and simple way, and it's all very groundbreaking. And I understand now all the same people that you're probably coaching probably feel the same way that I, feel right now after hearing all those concepts. Carrie, as much as I would love to dig into all of this with you, I understand that this is what you do with profitology.com. You create these strategies and you fill in those gaps with them. Talk to us about how you look to leverage this moving forward. What is the future of Carrot Chesick, and how are you seeing, these fostering leadership and fostering growth and success in businesses?
Uh, I love coaching. I coach and I implement my playbook, and it's immensely gratifying. And I get a lot of positive feedback from my clients. I love doing it. It's a passion project, and so I'm just going to keep doing what I do, and it has an impact. I love doing it. It is very gratifying to me. It is helping a lot of people. So that's my playbook.
Fantastic. And you've shared to us all this possibly secret ingredients that you have shared us today to be persuasive. But more than that, I think you've really given like so much valuable insight and wisdom with us today. Carrie, I'd like to give you this opportunity. Where can we find you? Where can we connect with you? Where are you most active at? And of course, where can we find this new book of yours that just came out?
Well, you can obviously you can clearly go to profitology.com
Mm-hmm.
and check out the website. But the easiest way to get me is on LinkedIn, or
Mm-hmm.
you can
Mm-hmm.
email me, Cary, Cary at profitology.com. And the
Mm-hmm.
book, you can go to Amazon. Go to Amazon.
All right. It just came out, ladies and gentlemen. Go grab a copy of that book. I will definitely try and get myself a copy all the way across the world. But I think all the insight that you have told us there is invaluable. And that book and the content in there will definitely be just as invaluable. And of course, the opportunity to be coached by you, to be involved with profitology.com and all the strategies that you are implementing, Carrie. This has been a fantastic, eye opening, insightful session episode today. I invite our audience and listeners to follow you on LinkedIn as well and get connected. Carrie, thank you so much for being on here. And is there anything, one last thing you would like to say to the audience to take us home?
Go have fun out there. It's a journey.
Let's go. Let's go. It is a journey. Just have fun. Make sure that you don't always, I'll make sure to remember that. Remember to have fun. Thank you for that reminder, Carrie. And again, thank you for being on the show.
I really appreciate the opportunity.
To all our audience and listeners out there, see you on the next one.
All right, so here's the thing. We try to get a little bit better every day, but we can't do it without you. So if you like the video, make sure to like and subscribe below. And if you have any comments, just leave them in the space under.